We're still in the first half of Peacemaker Season 2, but already we're up to our knees in quality surprises. Episode 1 ended with Chris inadvertently killing his own alternate Earth doppelganger, and in Episode 3 we got the cameo to end all cameos, and which might really just be a solid supporting character for being honest, Rick Flag Jr. What does this mean for Peacemaker and for the DCU as a whole? Let's talk about that. And maybe theorize a bit while we're at it. Yeah, let's get some nice theorizing in. Ooh, we love to theorize about things and then be proven wrong mere days later. First off, let's get through the obvious. Rick Flag Jr. was previously seen being killed by Peacemaker in Corto Maltese during the events of the Suicide Squad. While that film was already partially canon thanks to, well, Peacemaker existing, the arrival of Rick Flag Jr. as an actual character in the show further solidifies that film's place in the DCU. Our first glimpse at Flag Jr. comes during a flashback of all things, which reveals that he and Harcourt had a fling while Flag was still dating June, aka Enchantress, thereby making at least one element of the original Suicide Squad canon as well. This was also just before Flag was to depart for Corto Maltese to contend with Operation Starfish. This still doesn't tell us exactly how much of the Suicide Squad is considered canon, but it's reasonable to assume that characters like Harley Quinn and Bloodshot exist in this new universe. This initial moment from Episode 3 with Flag and Harcourt post-coitus also helps us to better understand Harcourt's various issues. And hey, unlike most of the rest of this video, we're not talking theory here. James Gunn told TV Insider that the relationship between Harcourt and Flag was planned before they even shot Season 1, and even added that John Economos was also friends with Flag before his untimely demise. Then there's the alternate version of Rick Flag Jr., whom we meet when Chris goes to visit Harcourt at Argus. Turns out that he's the jarhead who she's been seeing, but he's definitely not the same jarhead we remember from Suicide Squad. He acts like a total goofball and seems incredulous toward Chris even being at Argus, let alone seeing his apparent girlfriend Amelia Harcourt. There are a few theories as to why Rick acts so strangely in this alternate Earth. The most obvious one is, of course, that he's just a dorky version of Rick Flag, whom Harcourt happens to be seeing. Simple as that, case closed, nothing all that weird happening here. Just a gag showcasing the comedic talents of one Joel Kinnaman. Another theory piggybacks off the widely held theory that the alternate Earth is actually a white supremacist reality, perhaps one where the South won the Civil War, the Nazis won World War II, as is seen in the comic book version of Earth X, or where Chris and his family somehow aided in re-implementing segregation. This theory is based off fans noticing that there don't appear to be any people of color in this seemingly perfect version of Earth, in a show that is pretty fairly well known for its diverse casting. Anyway, one of the theories that sprung out of that one is that Rick Flag Jr. is actually a member of the Resistance movement, a group of which Chris absolutely decimated during their attempt at taking out the DMV. It's worth noting that while he's killing off the Resistance members one by one, none of them gets a chance to take a look at Chris and say anything. It could be this is an intentional choice to obscure the fact that the alternate Chris was also a member of the Resistance, thus causing Rick to act so weird when Chris shows up at his place of work. They're both in this resistance movement together. What are you, dude, what are you doing at my place of work? We're not supposed to be seen together, that kind of thing. Yet another theory is that alternate Chris is either gay or bisexual, and that he has or had a relationship with Rick Flag. This is bolstered by the use of words like curious to describe Chris, and the fact that Harcourt sends Chris a rainbow emoji. There's also just a coy sense to their conversation on the bench that suggests there's more to the dialogue than there appears to be. The idea could go a number of directions, including Chris having explored his bisexuality with Harcourt in the past, and thereby emotionally hurt her in the process. This theory feels a little off due to how convoluted it is, but it could just be that I'm overcomplicating it. Either way, there's definitely a weird energy between Chris and Flag. Of course, this video is coming out right around the same time as Episode 4, so you may very well already know the answer to whether these theories are bunk or not. With James Gunn having referred to Kinnaman's role as a favor, it's possible that this really is just a gag cameo. The point, however, is that Rick being alive in the alternate Earth raises a lot of questions, most of them spurred by the fact that Joel Kinnaman is back in the first place. Certainly, there must be some grand reason for bringing back the guy whose death forever changed Peacemaker as a human being. And that last bit is kinda why Rick Flag showing up fits so well into the DCU. He's a natural extension of Peacemaker's character. For all intents and purposes, his death is the jumping off point for everything we've seen. If it weren't for killing him, Peacemaker wouldn't have begun to question his own tactics or place in the world. And Flag's final words, "Peacemaker, what a joke," continue to haunt Chris.
Peacemaker. What a joke.
Additionally, there's the matter of Rick Flag Sr. It's not a long shot that he could wind up traveling to the alternate Earth and meeting this version of his son. With his vengeance against Peacemaker such a major part of the show, it would be natural to bring the two together. This is a bit of a long shot, but perhaps Flag Sr.'s reaction to the alternate Earth will be one of disinterest. He could immediately see it for what it is, and immediately accept that his son is still dead. This could be what helps wake Chris up from his delusions regarding the true nature of this seemingly perfect world. Again, a bit of a long shot, and admittedly just a way for me to reach my word count, but plausible nonetheless with what we've seen thus far. With Peacemaker a major presence within the DCU, it makes perfect sense to canonize Joel Kinnaman's portrayal of Rick Flag. Even if there's nothing more to alternate Earth Rick, we're still left with a massive revelation regarding original flavor Rick that will no doubt be a massive dramatic force as the season continues. But hey, what do you think? Do any of these theories hold up? Should we expect more from Rick Flag's alternate self, like perhaps a reunion with Rick Flag Sr.? Heck, what do you think of that revelation that Flag and Harcourt were together? Let me know in the comments, and hey guys, thank you for watching ScreenRant. Boop.